Hi everyone, my name is Jyoti Samant and I welcome you all in this session. I am a chartered accountant and a personal finance expert, and I am also a volunteer at Mavisha Foundation. And Mavisha Foundation is registered under Companies Act and also associated with Niti Aayog. And the core mission of the foundation is to empower communities with a special focus on underprivileged people through educational and training initiatives. And as a part of this whole mission of the foundation, we have like for this reason we have conducted this session. And so we can start the session, and I'm just sharing my screen with you. If it is visible, just let me know. Vikrant, can you give me rights to share my screen? Because
Yeah, sure.
okay.
Yeah.
Is it visible, Vikrant?
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay, all right, thanks. Mm. Now, before starting the session, I would like to ask you a few questions, and anybody, if you know the answer, please write it down on the chat box. So I'll check your replies. So first question is, what is the literacy rate in India? If you have any idea, and you can also make a wild guess. I'm okay with it. Anybody knows the literacy rate in India? Okay, I can't see your reply though, but okay. And second is like, so the literacy rate in India it's around 77%. And if we talk about the financial literacy, so financial literacy is basically if a person knows how to manage the money, like if we talk about budgeting and investment and saving, if anybody knows about that, then we can call that person a financial literate. So if we talk about the financial literacy in India, it is around only 24%. So it means that 76% of Indian adults are financially illiterate. That's the reason we have conducted this session on financial literacy, because people really don't know. If they have an idea about fixed deposit, they are putting all their money in fixed deposit because they think that they are these options are safe, and putting them in saving account or fixed deposit or gold. So there are a lot of options, other options as well, where you can balance your risk and reward. So if you have that kind of knowledge, then you can get good returns, as well as you can based on your risk appetite, you can get good returns on these options. So today we are talking about all these options as well. So next is like, so I'll share some tips with you, some personal finance tips. I know that you must have heard a lot of these tips, but it is like very easy when it comes to implementation. People face the challenges. It is very difficult to implement in our normal life. But I will focus on these things because it will really help you if you will implement these. I'm sure that you will, it will help you on your financial journey in the process of wealth creation, I would say. So the first tip I would suggest you to, have a ideal equation of income, expense, and saving, as I have mentioned in this PPT, which is like expense is equal to income minus saving. If you mathematically both the equations are equal, there is no, I would say there is no difference as much. But when it comes to implementation, what people generally say is that, whenever I talk to people, I meet the people, the first thing I ask generally, how much do you save? This is my, first question. So everybody says like, on my experience, I would say people like 95% of the people, they say, madam, jo bachta hai na, मैं वही save करता हूँ या करती हूँ. And I generally ask ki aap, okay, so there is no fixed amount of saving. Like if I talk about the monthly saving, because monthly, if I'm getting something, so I should save, a fixed amount, at least, even if it is like less than 1,000 rupees, that is okay. But logo ka kya criteria hota hai? They generally save whatever is left after spending the money. So क्या हो रहा है इस चक्कर में कि people, they do not develop such habit of savings. And if you really want to create wealth for yourself, the first and foremost step that you should take is to save first, then spend whatever amount is left. I am not saying saving means you should save more than 10,000 or 20,000 is only saving. It could be 500 rupees or 1,000 rupees, So you just need to inculcate this habit in your day-to-day life. When you will do that, then, this is the first step. Then you can create the wealth for yourself and for your family in the future. So you need to change the equation. If it is your equation is, whatever is left is my savings. So if you know this person, Warren Buffett, he also says that, spend what is left after saving. And I know the challenge is, you cannot online, you should not like save money, like I'm putting the money monthly basis. It is very difficult to take out some time and actually save the money, but you can automate your saving, because there are a lot of options available where you can make the payment online without bank. First time bank will ask you for that deduction. After that, it is like automate saving, and it really helps you to save the money. So we generally suggest people to save the money with automatic, automatically, I would say. There are a lot of options. I'll also tell you later on. And so this is the first tip that I would like to give you, because this is like, obviously it is very basic thing, but the wealth creation first step is the saving. Firstly, you save, then you will invest. Now the step number 2 is invest your money. Now I have also asked this question, like what is the difference between investment and saving? Generally people say that both are interchangeable words, like the meaning of the savings and investment is same, but it is not like that. Saving or investment mein there is a huge difference of inflation. So what is inflation? We already know, we have heard a lot of about this inflation thing, ki mehengai ho gayi and the prices of the products and services have gone up. So what exactly is inflation is like, in layman language, I would give you a meaning. It is that, the value of the money will decrease in the future. For example, if you are buying any chocolate, today, if the cost is 100 rupees, after 1 year, obviously, the cost of that, chocolate will go up. So what is happening because of the inflation? Aapko chocolate same wahi milega, but you'll have to pay more money. So I'll give you a condition, and I'll give you, for example, right now I'm giving you 100 rupees, and you're just putting that 100 rupees with yourself. And after 1 year, if I say buy that chocolate again, then if you will not invest that money, then the value, the 100 rupees is with you, right? When you are going out and buying the chocolate, you'll have to pay 6 rupees extra. So on an average, India inflation is around 6 to 6.5%. So I'm considering it like 6%. So the value, the cost of that chocolate is again 106 rupees, right? When you are going out and you are just paying that 100 rupees, he'll say ki 6 rupees or do, because iska cost 106 ho gaya. Then when you're paying that 106 rupees, you'll have to pay extra 6 rupees, because you have kept that 100 rupees with yourself. You haven't invested that money. So अगर आप invest कर देते and आपको वो return मिल जाता, even if it is equivalent to inflation, तो आपको extra वो 6 rupees नहीं देने पड़ते. That's the whole idea behind the investment thing. If you are saving is the first step. I already said that. Now the second thing is investment. Just don't save your money. सेविंग इज इम्पोर्टेंट, बट अगर आप वो सेविंग बस ऐसी जगह या तो अपने सेविंग अकाउंट में ही रख रहे हो, यू आर गेटिंग आई थिंक 2.5% और 3% रिटर्न ऑन योर सेविंग बैंक अकाउंट, और अगर even if you're putting your every even every penny of your money in that bank account, you're getting only 3% return. And what is the inflation rate? It's 6%. So it means आपका जो पैसा है उसका 3% की value already decrease हो रही है every year. So you need to be very careful about that. आप जब invest कर रहे हो, make sure you are calculating what is the actual return that you are getting on your investment. If it is more than inflation, then the wealth is being created. If it is equivalent to inflation, it means you are just coping up with the inflation thing. If it is less than inflation, then I think you should check, and there are a lot of options. You need to explore it for your investment thing. So that's why now we can see what does inflation do to our expenses. So right now, if your expenses is like 30,000 rupees monthly, then after 20 years, the these expenses cost will be 96,000 rupees. So because of the inflation factor, these hazard would be like 96,000 after 20 years. You need to be like think about it. So अभी जो 30,000 की वैल्यू है वो बाद में 96,000 में you will buy that product. So that's why it's important to understand the inflation factor. जैसे आप inflation factor को consider करेंगे, then you will be able to check whether I'm getting more than inflation, the return on your investment is more than inflation or not. If you are like you are not thinking about and in this way you are just depleting the value of your investment. So if I talk about the saving, generally bachpan mein I already had this question in my mind that I generally ask this question to my parents: why you are not getting all the cash and putting it with ourselves, like keeping in like locker and all? Why are you putting in bank account? So I didn't that idea, I didn't know about this inflation thing. So agar aap abhi 1 lakh rupees apne cash rakh dete ho and you are not putting or maybe investing it in different options, then what is happening? The value of that 1 lakh rupees after 20 years, it would be only 31,000 rupees. So that's the reason, you need to make your money work for you. And how does it work for you? When you invest that money and you are getting the return which is more than inflation or equivalent to inflation. At least it should get, return which is equivalent to inflation. So that's the reason, you just don't need to put all your money. I have seen a lot of people, they are just earning money and putting into saving account, and their saving account balance is like 10 lakh rupees in 11 lakh rupees. So when I asked this question, why are you putting all your money in saving account? They were like, we don't have enough time. Banks are giving 2-3%. It is enough. No, it is not enough. So that's the reason, you need to understand this inflation factor. If you're already aware about this inflation thing, and I'm sure on monthly basis and at least half yearly basis, you are checking what exactly return you are getting from your investments. Now the best solution, as I said, investment is the best solution to safeguard your money against inflation. And you just need to save first, then invest that money and repeat this task. This is the process of wealth creation, I would say. Now the next question is obviously where I should invest my money. Now there are a lot of options, and I think our parents' generation, I would say PPF, I've seen my parents as well to invest in gold and, PPF and property. But apart from that, there are a lot of options available. Like I have already mentioned in this PPT. So there are mutual funds. You must aware about mutual funds as well. It is a very good option. So today I'll focus on this investment option because I feel it gives you, it will beat the inflation rate, and it also there is no so much risk, I would say, as compared to direct equity, because I've seen people like they are putting into direct stocks, direct equity investments and all. So if I compare these investment options like with FD PPF, I'm just giving you a brief about it. So if I talk about the fixed deposit, we already know, I think a lot of our money it into fixed deposit account. But if I talk about the rate, then historical return, I would say it's 5 to 6%. Nowadays, it is more than that. It's around 7.5%. just because of inflation, because inflation is also increasing. That is why the fixed deposit rate is also increasing. But when I talk about the long duration, like if you talk about 10%, then it is on an average, it is 5 to 6%. And we already know there is no risk as such, because a bank cannot default. But that is not a scenario. It can happen that bank may default. But apart, if we compare this with other options, then fixed deposit is safer option. Now, if we talk about PPF, PPF, we already know, public provident fund, we get the deduction of 1.5 lakh. But there is a liquidity problem, I would say, when it comes to PPF option, because PPF option में you need to put your money for 15 years. 7 years के बाद भी आप कुछ पैसा निकाल सकते हैं, but it is not liquid fund, I would say. So you need to think about this as well. And if I talk about the direct equity, now the youngsters, young generation, they are really attracted towards direct equity, thing. If I talk about returns, obviously it is not predictable, because it depends where you have invested, in which share you have invested your money, and the level of risk is extremely high, because we cannot predict whether that company will, will grow in future or not. And the minimum, obviously, if you are investing in direct equity, my recommendation is to put it for long term, not in short term, because short term, you cannot create your wealth. If you really want to create the wealth, you need to have a patience, and you need to, have a good investment horizon, like longer term, at least more than 7-10 years. And the taxability, I've already mentioned it. And if I talk about the gold and real estate, obviously gold and real estate, again, they are not very liquid fund. If you really want to sell it, then it is not like, you are just selling it whenever you want. You just need to find a buyer, and then you can sell it. So again, the liquidity problem is there. If I talk about the equity mutual fund, I would say the return is, obviously, historical return is 12 to 15%. Again, it is not fixed return, and level of risk is high. But as compared to direct equity, it is, I would say, you can take that risk, because if you are investing for long term, again, I am saying that for getting a good return, or if you really want to beat the inflation, you should have a longer investment horizon. If you have a longer term investment horizon, then the risk is, I would say, the risk will decrease. Even if it is for like 1 year, 1 year mein nobody can predict where market will go. So it's better if you're putting your money into equity mutual fund, then you'll have to be like, I just want to save it for more than 5-7 years. Then you will 100 and like based on historical return, you will get at least positive return on your investment. So today I'll talk about, like that, I'll give you some brief about how mutual fund work. So why I'm saying it is a comparative to, in comparison with equity, direct equity, it is better investment option. Because what the fund manager is doing, they are putting, firstly, they will pool the money from a lot of investors like us, and then they invest in securities and stock. So fund manager is a highly qualified professional. So it is not that he is just he has a very good team behind him, and who helps him to invest your money. And then whatever return they generate, they just deliver that return to us. And historically, like I said, it's 12 to 15%. Even if it is more than that, based on the some categories, I'll not go into that, because it's a little complicated, I would say. But on a, like, if I talk about, like, briefly, you can say that because why it is, like I said, why the risk is moderate in this investment option, because they are putting, if I talk about one scheme, so in one scheme, if you check, there are 40, 50, or even 60 stocks in one scheme. Even if one company is not working, or maybe it is not growing, it means that other 59 companies are there who can deliver return to you. So that is why the risk is comparatively, the risk is lower than direct equity. So you can, check this investment option. It really helps you to grow your wealth in near future. And then systematic investment plan is an option in mutual fund, where your money, on a monthly basis, the money will be deducted from your bank account. And how it helps you, that you are not supposed to check every month or not, you should not take out your time to invest your money. It will directly deducted from your bank account. That is why I said earlier that you need to automate your savings. Just like when the Netflix and Amazon subscription, it automatically deducted from our bank account. So in this way, I'm not saying you should automate your expenses, but for savings you should do it. Like, it's very important. And like I said, SIPs, if I talk about the advantages, then the disciplined investment is there. And you can start your SIP with a like very small amount. It could be like 500 rupees or 1000 rupees. Like, it's very small, you should not have more money to invest. And it is very convenient investment option. And rupee cost averaging also happens in SIP, because what happens is that even if market is down, you are putting your money like every month, like I said. So sometimes the money, the market is down, and sometimes market is up. So in this way, there is a rupee cost averaging happening your investment. So power of compounding we'll later discuss on. And now my tip number 3 is make a budget. It's very important. Like, you have clear your mind that, now I have to save my money, then you are saving it. The next step, what you are taking is investment. You are now invest your money. Now the thing is that make a budget, because it really helps you to check how much money you are getting and how much you are spending. In this way, you can bifurcate your expenses, whether it was needed, that expense is your need, or it's your wants. Because sometimes we end up spending a lot of money on something which was not important for us, like going out with your friend. You should have a budget. I'm not saying just save your money. You should also get good experience with your friends and family. You should spend it, but on a I would say there is a general rule. We call it 50-30 to 20 rule, where it says that 50% of your money towards your needs, and 30% towards your want. If it is more than that, like if you're spending something which is a want only, and you are spending it more than 50%, then you have to check, because saving is important. Like 20% towards saving, like they said, it's a general rule. Doesn't mean that you have to save only 20%. If it is more than that, and it is good for you, it will really help you to get financial freedom. This is the rule that we have discussed right now. And now the tip number 4 is, like, you have made a budget, right? Now the thing is that if you're investing, just have keep in your mind what you're investing for, because it is very important. Like, you can bifurcate. You just need to know about your goals. Sometimes what happens is that people, they are just doing the work which they don't like. And when you ask that person, why are you doing that job if you don't like, they are saying that, paisa, we need the money to fulfill our goals. And when you ask what are the goals, generally people say, they don't know about their goals. The goals kya hai, and how much money they required to achieve this goal. Because a lot of people, they are saying, okay, to marriage, बच्चों की शादी करनी है, and retirement के लिए चाहिए. If you'll ask what is the exact money that you required for your retirement, they say we have no idea. So if I give you a condition and saying that, if you have enough money right now, you have enough money in your bank account, and whatever return you are getting, it will fulfill all your financial goals, then will you do the work that you are currently doing, or will you do something which you really like, which you really enjoy while doing? So you will do something which you enjoy. Right now, a lot of people, like I would say 95% of the people, they are doing because they have the obligation. You should know the cost, the amount of your obligation. If you have that clarity, then it really helps you to do whatever you want to, you like to do in the near future. So that is why I would suggest you write down your all goals and try to estimate the amount, what is the exact amount of that goal. Once you have that idea, then when you achieve that amount, then you'll feel, okay, one of my goals have, I have already covered this goal. So it really helps you. These are the things, when it comes to travel and all, what we feel that, we have already know, we take a lot of time, and we discuss a lot of things where we are going, and we do all the plannings. When it comes to financial decision, it's just like that, okay, we generally give excuse that, काम में we are very busy, so हमारे पास इतना time नहीं है कि हम इन सब चीजों के बारे में देखें. But just spend few hours, on monthly basis, at least on quarterly basis, and check how much amount you have already saved and what is the average return that you are getting, and what will be the future value of the investment, because calculators are available in the Google, if you'll check it. And when you when you say put the money, the monthly saving that you are doing, and put the return, estimated return, you will get the future amount. If the future amount is matching with your goal, then it is good, right? So just spend some time to determine your goals, and then what are the savings that you can do every month, and the investment options that you're investing for. And now my tip number 5 would be start investing early, as early as possible. Why I'm saying that? Because you must have heard this, like this word, power of compounding. It's like very important. And even Albert Einstein say compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Why he says that? Because, when you have invested your money, the return you will get on that investment amount, that invested amount will be huge after few years. If I'll give you an example, you can understand it in a better way. Mr. A, he started his monthly SIP at the age of 20, right? And 20,000 rupees. And SIP continued for 40 years. And invested amount was 96,000 rupees. And the total value at the age of 60, he'll get 24 crores. We are, estimating that he'll get 12% compounded annual growth rate, So 12% is like on an average you will get from equity mutual fund. And vice versa, like if I talk about Mr. B, then Mr. B is investing again 20,000 rupees, and SIP continued for 30 years. So at the age of 60, Mr. B will get 7 crore rupees, and at the age of 60, Mr. A will get 24 crores. If you see the invested amount, there is a difference of only 24 lakh rupees. यानी कि मिस्टर बी ने सिर्फ 10 साल वाला जो अमाउंट था वो इन्वेस्ट नहीं किया था, बट व्हेन यू सी दैट वैल्यू, देयर इज अ ह्यूज डिफरेंस. एंड इफ आई से कि मिस्टर बी को भी 24 करोड़ चाहिए, सो उनको कितना इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए था? एट द एज ऑफ 60 इट वुड बी अराउंड 65,000 रुपीज. मीन्स अगर आप जितनी जल्दी इन्वेस्टमेंट करते हैं, आपकी वेल्थ भी उतनी जल्दी ग्रो करती. लाइक 24 करोड़ एंड 7 करोड़, इट्स अ ह्यूज डिफरेंस. जस्ट agar invested amount, it's only 24 lakh, and when it comes to the value of investment, it's huge, like 17 crore difference. So you just need to check whether you have, if you are in your early 20s, I will suggest you that start investing, even if it is 1,000 rupees as well. In the long term, you will see how quickly your wealth is growing. This is power of compounding, because when the accumulated amount, your invested amount in the long run will get doubled quickly. So even I have also mentioned another, this chart which says that if you want to have a 1 crore rupees, if you want to generate your wealth of 1 crore, then how much you should invest monthly? If you have a tenure of 5 years, आपको 5 साल में 1 करोड़ चाहिए, you need to have monthly SIP of rupees 1,23,000. And when it is like 40 years, यानी अगर आपकी age right now it's 20 years, and after 40 years and at the age of 60, अगर आप अभी 1,000 rupees monthly invest कर रहे हैं, then you will have 1 crore at the age of 60. So you can see the difference. जितना tenure less होता जाएगा, उतना ज्यादा investment amount you need to put. और जितना ज्यादा होराइजन आपके पास होगा, देन उतना ही अमाउंट आपको कम इन्वेस्ट करना पड़ेगा. सो दैट इज द पावर ऑफ कंपाउंडिंग. So so that is why everybody says that invest as early as possible. Don't just procrastinate, because generally we say that initial when we get a job, we say that abhi to enjoy karna chahiye. I'm not saying you should not do that, you should also enjoy, but set aside, like even like I said, 500 rupees, 1,000, it is possible to save money, right? When you automate that saving, after 1 year, when you see the amount, you'll be surprised that okay, and you just don't need to put like take out your few minutes into that. You just need to automate. When once it will get automated, then you don't need to spend some time on that. And after like few years, you will realize that it was a good step that you have taken to invest your money. And then next, my tip number 6 would be like maintain an emergency fund. Why I'm saying that? Because if you want to save your investment, nobody knows what will happen in the future, right? If you have an emergency fund, you have that comfort with yourself, and you have that mindset. And generally, there is a like general rule that you should have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of your expenses, monthly expenses. If it is more than that, based on your family member, you can invest, like you can put that money into fixed deposit account, either on fixed deposit account or in your bank account. And other options are also available, like liquid funds and all, where you are getting on an average 5-6% return. And in emergency, obviously you can utilize that money for your emergency expenses. In COVID, people who didn't have that emergency fund, they redeemed their investments from the market when stock market was very low. The stock market have decreased, we everybody know that. So that's the reason you should have an emergency fund, because emergency fund mein kya hota hai, your savings and your investment, I would say, it's safe. So आप वो तभी redeem करेंगे when your goal is near, or you need to fulfill your goal. So again, the reason why you should have emergency fund is it protect you against unforeseen circumstances and prevent your goal from getting sidetracked. And third is like avoid interest cost, because in emergency we generally borrow money from the people. And if you have that emergency fund, and it gives you relief that and you have that mindset, okay, so mere paas emergency fund hai, I'll use that fund. And if it is, that is why it's, the reason is that it is 3 or 6 months generally. I suggest my clients to put like for 1 year emergency fund should be there. And knowing that you have a financial buffer, obviously it provides you peace of mind and financial security, and in this way you can achieve your financial goals as well. And my tip number 7 would be manage and reduce debt, because like a lot of people nowadays, they are taking home EMIs, car loans, a lot of EMIs are there. You also need to manage it properly, because you should know, again, budget is like very important. You should have a budget, what is like your income and what are your expenses, EMIs and everything. And try to pay your money like EMIs as quickly as possible, because it really helps you to not to incur that interest cost, because interest cost is huge. And right now interest rate are like very fluctuating. Sometimes what happens is that आप बैंक के साथ you are getting the loan, and उसके बाद अब you are just paying on the EMIs. I have seen people, they do not negotiate the repayment terms, because इंटरेस्ट रेट चेंज होता रहता है, राइट? आपको अपने बैंक के साथ यू नीड टू कनेक्ट कि अगर इंटरेस्ट रेट कम हो गया है तो यू नीड टू नेगोशिएट विद दैट कि आप हमारा भी होम लोन का इंटरेस्ट कम करिए, बिकॉज पीपल आर नॉट अवेयर अबाउट इट, एंड बैंक डू नॉट एंटरटेन यू, लाइक दे दे डोंट कम टू यू एंड सेइंग दैट हम आपका इंटरेस्ट रेट कम करें. यू हैव टू बी लाइक कॉशियस कि ओके, अगर मार्केट में रेट कम हो गया है तो यू नीड टू go to your bank relationship manager and you need to ask them कि हमारा अब interest भी कम कीजिए, because बाकी banks ने भी कम कर दिया है. So that is how you have to be like very careful about your debt as well, and try to, whenever you get your bonus amount and anything, like a lump sum amount from any sources, then you should pay your debt first. It is important. Once you will reduce your debt, obviously your money will go into your investment, and obviously when you have like good investment amount, then you will get the good return as well in the future. And thank you so much. I think I have covered all the tips. Like I said, it's 7 tips and it's like very basic one. And if you have like any questions, you can ask me for that. Anybody has a question?